day, mathletes! Welcome to another day of magnificent, math-exciting, and magical experience in learning mathematics here on TV Escuela with Miss Christine Joy Duran Liquit of Montevista National High School, Montevista District. Are you ready? Be sure that you are holding your Module 5 for the second quarter as well as your pen and paper for solving and drawing. So listen attentively to follow my discussion. For today, we will be learning and illustrating a relation and a function. Let's start this lesson by looking at the relationship between two things or quantities. Relation is also evident in other real-life scenarios like the relation between father and daughter, teachers and students, brothers and sisters, or among animals and their babies, and so on. Well, there are many occurrences in real life that can be better understood by observing how one quantity behaves in relation to other quantities. Let's try this first activity. Wow! Davao de Oro. Identify the coordinates where the specific place is located on the map. I am surely aware that this is easy for you since we already discussed about rectangular coordinate system. Now let's get started. Be ready. Wow! Davao de Oro. First up, Maragusan. What coordinates it lies in the map? 5 and 6. Very good. Maragusan hides another Mindanao's grandest waterfalls, Tagbibinta Falls. Second stop, Moncayo. What coordinate it lies in the map? 2 and 9. Good job. Awal Falls is the best kept secret of Moncayo. Our third spot is New Bataan. What coordinates it lies on the map? 6 and 0. Great! New Bataan is where Mount Pandadagsaan located, the third highest peak in Davao region and the 13th highest peak in the Philippines. Next, Mako. What coordinate it lies on the map? -6 and -6. Very good. Well, locals love to come in mainit sulfuric hot spring to experience its therapeutic effect. Last one for now, Montevista. What coordinates it lies on our map? 0 and 6. Great job! Well, aside from the well-known Skyle Adventure in Montevista, there is a new attraction in town, another recreational spot, Georgetown. You did very well. I hope you enjoy our mini virtual tour in Davao de Oro. Well, those are some and few places worth a spot on your bucket list. There's more and a lot of unique and scenic patches of nature that Davao de Oro can offer. Well, going back to our topic, let us now watch first a video from YouTube by Michael Bautista. Let's observe and listen attentively to overview the content of our lesson for today.
The input is the set of X, the output is the set of Y. And when you do the vertical line test, you always better know the reason why. With tables and graphs, diagrams, or equations like f of x. The set of inputs is the domain, the set of outputs is the range. When no x repeats, you'll have a function. The set of inputs is the domain, the set of outputs is the range. When no x repeats, you'll have a function. A function is a type of relation, but a relation is not always a function. An input may have more than one output, an output may have more than one input. When every x has exactly one y, we give that a special name. A function! The set of inputs is the domain, the set of outputs is the range. When no x repeats, you'll have a function. Again! The set of inputs is the domain, the set of outputs is the range. When no x repeats, you'll have a function. All together! The set of inputs is the domain, the set of outputs is the range. When no x repeats, you'll have a function. One more time! The set of inputs is the domain, the set of outputs is the range. When no x repeats, you'll have a function.
Are you having fun? Nice to hear. Those are some key points that will help and guide us in understanding our new topic for today. Our lesson is all about illustrating a relation and a function. For today's lesson, let us be guided by our objectives. At the end of the lesson, learners are able to: number 1, identify the relationship of two quantities. Number 2, recognize the importance of a relationship between two quantities in real-life situations. And the last one, illustrate a relation and a function. This time, let's describe what is a relation and a function. A relation between two sets is any ordered pairs containing one object from each set. While function is a special type of relation. It is a relation where no element in the domain is mapped or paired to more than one element in the range. So what is this range and domain all about? The domain refers to the set of possible input values. The domain of the graph consists of all the input values shown on the x-axis. The range is the set of possible output values, which are shown on the y-axis. From the coordinates we used earlier in our activity, the first values of the ordered pairs are the domain, while the second values serve as range. That is for graph and ordered pairs. Now, let's clear this all through illustrations to represent a relation and a function. We can illustrate and represent a relation and a function in 5 ways. This is through mapping, ordered pairs, table, graph, and equation. The activity we did earlier is determining the coordinates of each district is one way of representing a relation through ordered pairs. Now, let's take this problem as another example. Mrs. Reyes is a dealer of poultry eggs. She sells them at 210 pesos per tray for a large size of eggs. The following are the cost of each number of trays. Please observe and study the figures. Let's try to represent the given relation in 5 ways. First is through tables. The number of trays of eggs represented by X and cost in pesos represented by Y can be presented horizontally and vertically. Question: how much would Mrs. Reyes receive if she sells 6 trays of eggs? 1,260 pesos. Very good. So through table, we can easily identify the relation of the number of trays as to how much it cost. Just add 210 pesos. With the same problem of Mrs. Reyes as a dealer of poultry eggs, let us now represent the relation through ordered pairs. The same as what we did in Wow Davao de Oro activity. The following ordered pairs were derived from the relationship between the numbers of trays and the total cost. So, in general, in forming coordinates, we have quantity X and Y. And that is the number of trays for X coordinate and total cost for Y coordinate. Then, the ordered pairs are 1 and 210, 2 and 420, 3 and 630, 4 and 840, 5 and 1,050, 6 and 1,260, and so on. So that's how easy it is. The domain are the first values. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The range are the second values. We have 210, 420, 630, 840, 1,050, and 1,260. Great! Next is through mapping. It is just like making a diagram and connecting each of the elements on the first set, set A, to its corresponding elements to the other set, set B, through arrows. Our set A in the diagram as domain represents the number of egg trays, and set B as range represents to how much it cost. Another way to represent a relation is through graphs. Here is the graphical representation to illustrate the relationship between the total cost and the number of trays of eggs. The x-axis represents the numbers of trays of eggs, while the y-axis is the total cost in pesos. Our graph is not that similar to the rectangular coordinate plane that we used to, since we are dealing with larger numbers for our y value. But still, it can be used that way too. After plotting the x and y values, connect all the points, and as you can see, it goes upward to the right. So, the greater numbers of trays, the larger the amount it costs. For the graph alone, we can directly see that if y increases, x follows as well. And if we continue the graph, we can determine immediately the cost of the tray of eggs as it touches the intersection to the number of trays. That's how graph works. Lastly, a relation may also be presented through an equation into variables or certain rule expressed in equation. Now, if we analyze the problem, we can model the relationship of total cost and the number of trays of eggs through the equation. Total cost is equal to the cost per tray of eggs, quantity, the number of trays. We can determine the total cost if we multiply the cost of eggs per tray by the number of trays. If we have only one tray, the cost is 210. If we buy 2 trays, the cost is 420. If we added another tray, the cost is 630. If we got 4 trays, the cost is 840. If we have 5 trays, the cost is 1,050. Good job! What if we buy 8 trays? How much do it cost? 1,680 pesos. Great! From the given values and understanding what the problem asks, we can create an equation. Y is equal to 210 quantity X This is the rule expressed through equation into variables. Using the existing rule, y is equal to 210x, we can determine the total cost of the number of trays of eggs sold. The set of values of x, which is the number of trays, represents the domain, and the set of values of y, which is the total cost in pesos, represents the range. Now, perfectly done. Is everything clear now? Nice to hear. Let's have first this short activity. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Given the mapping at the right, which set of ordered pairs described the mappings of elements in set A to set B? The answer is letter B. So, that's how related the number of ways as to how relations and functions being illustrated. As for now, we will end up our discussion here. I hope you learned a lot. Kindly answer the task given to you by your subject teachers. And that would be all for today. Goodbye and have a nice day, mathletes. Make TV Eskwela a weekday educational habit to help you in understanding the module content. Illustrate a relation and function like a pro. And remember, class, to never invest in something that you can't illustrate with a crayon. Again, this is Miss Christine Joy Duran Liquit of Montevista National High School, Montevista District, your math teacher for today. Well, see you into our next episode of Magnificent, Math-Citing, and Magical Experience in Learning Mathematics. Always remember, dito sa TV Eskwela, sa pag-aaral, sama-sama. Bye-bye!